And welcome everybody to Nothing But Ramblings. This is where I, Peter Wilco Wilkinson, talk to myself and have a bit of a therapy session about life, and I talk about something else that's been going on as well alongside that. So I've had, I'm going through a pretty bad patch at the moment. So the last 24 hours has been pretty low. In fact, probably extremely low. We got off the high of Bathurst. As you do, you go into a bit of low after that. I thought I'd managed it pretty well, where I gave myself a little bit of time and came out the other side of it. Had a little down at that stage of just bringing myself back down to earth and letting some things happen. We had a few little comments thrown at me in socials. Now Facebook, for some reason, YouTube just doesn't give me negative comments, and I know they're out there, but we're probably obviously not big enough on YouTube. But when a Facebook reel takes off, it really drags some really obnoxious people out of the works. And it reaches beyond my little niche and gets people talking about gaming. They're mostly bots. I assume that there have to be mostly bots that are basically there to cause division, because there's some negative comments coming out of some of my Bathurst stuff, and I was purposely telling a story of this is how Bathurst started. Here's the reels from the start, where I did not go well. It was not a good start to the first hour of Bathurst was not good at all. And then I was going to lead in with all the good stuff that came after that, but obviously the bad stuff got people or bots up the wrong way and sort of came out the other side of that. And yeah, I'm better at dealing with that now, and I generally just let it slip by, but a few times I just let it sneak on in, and it snuck on in this time. But I got over that and moved on, but I didn't put out any shorts, which is that was my biggest mistake. I should have just jumped straight back on the wagon and kept on pushing through with the shorts, but I gave myself 2 days, not on purpose, but 2 days, 3 days of no shorts. And then I pumped the whole hip out again. It had backed up and then stopped again. And I haven't put out any since. So it's been a rough 3 or 4 days at work. So what are we, Wednesday? So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, today. Haven't been the best. I've still got some stuff to do after this, but it's always that thing of I get paid for weekly. So every 4 weeks my company gets paid, and all that money comes in, and it's a lot of money. But then quickly on the Monday, Tuesday, I find out that A, it potentially might not be enough for the next 4 months or 4 weeks, or B, definitely find out it's not going to be enough for the next 4 weeks, and trying to work out what has happened in my planning and why. And then you look into it a bit closer and you think, oh no, you're actually okay if A, B, and C happen. But the first couple of days after a payday are a nightmare. The last couple of days leading in are the best because you've made it, and it's especially that week. The Monday before the Friday of payday on a 4 week cycle in a business is the best, because if you've got, even if it's $1 to spare at the end of it, you've done it. If you got more than that, that's even better. But when you get to the end of it and you get paid, cool. But getting paid's not the thing. It's just that you've succeeded for another 28 days, and especially in the position I've been in for a very, very long time now, it's we're not out of it. We're out of it sort of. Well, we'll be out of it in 2.5 years' time. That's the goal. 2.5 years' time, if I can get to that point. Oh, so that's 32 more cycles of 28 days at a time. So that's 32 more potential down periods after you get paid. But we should be in a far better position. January 6th is my big date that I'm pushing towards. If we can get to January 6th unscathed, that's a big win. Then there's April 17th, I think it is, or April 19th is the next one. And then after that, there's no real close calls. I think we're pretty good for a while then with the changes I made. But that's that all comes into question when you put something in place, and a couple of days into the cycle, you're like, where is all the money gone? And just trying to work it out. So that added on top, and I really dug into trying to work that out, as well as we're short staffed yesterday, which means we're still catching up today. We're still trying to find out stuff for Christmas about what I'm allowed to spend and what I'll get money back for. And I can't really commit to doing things until I get told exactly what I'm going to get money back for. Because at the moment we've got cash problems and I can't spend the cash unless I'm going to get it back. So my boss is being slow on that, even though it should have been done a month ago. And we're only a month out from when I need to start spending said money. So that's frustrating me. But it all came to a head last night, and look, I've struggled to be a parent for a very long time, and I've never really felt like I'd settled into it. Don't know why. I'm always awkward, and I'm always, well, over the last few years in particular, that's the most freshest stuff in your memory. I've been running a mental health problem and all kinds of stuff. So this episode was going to be two very different things before this morning, by the way. I wanted to talk about fear and how that relates to pressure, especially after my races last week. And even what I want to talk about is my experience where I went to Brisbane on my own to watch Cap Carter in concert for the first. Oh, that's the first time I'd seen him in concert. So, the fear of going down there alone as a man, going to a concert on your own is the bizarre feeling, and only because of the fear of I don't know what, but just felt awkward because that's how it was. But as soon as he got up on stage, it was really good. But I'll get into that later on. But that's what originally this episode was going to be about. And then after talking about my dad's death last week, seemed to be a fairly good response from the handful of people out there that are listening. So thank you for that. I really wanted to talk about my cancer experience a bit more in depth. So I had that planned out as well. But then sort of I'm at work yesterday morning trying to deal with short-staffed issues, leaving so much stuff behind, trying to make sure that everything that has to go out does go out with very little staff, and then staff that who do come in end up actually having potential concussion and things like that, and having to then deal with that on the spot. All kinds of weird stuff. It's when it rains, it pours for me, and dealing with that, and then all of a sudden my wife's having a breakdown because the kids are treating her on a very special day of hers in a very bad way, and then hearing some very bad things about your son, and sort of then I've got to deal with that when I get home, and I can't deal with that till I get home because he's at school. So that's another 6 hours of in my head, what am I going to do with this situation? And then stewing over that all day and I end up working till about 1 o'clock doing parcels, and then come home to quickly, I'm having my lunch break today. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to quickly do some stuff on the laptop that I have to do for trying to work out where money's going and stuff like that. But I had to do that. I'm just going to do that in front of the TV while I watch the track guide for this week's V8 Vets race. And about halfway through that, not even halfway through that, I get phone calls, and then I get an email, which just I'd planned for X amount for my BAS, and the spreadsheet was telling me that's how much I need to put aside. I put aside a chunk extra just in case, and that's where some of my money problems is coming from. Is I've allocated more just in case for these things, and when things are so tight, I'm going, I haven't actually got that money, but I do, but it's sitting there in this other account in case the BAS comes through and it's more than I thought. And the BAS came through and it was way more than I thought. And I'm like, oh, they've made a mistake here. Excellent. We're going to get some money back here. This is great. And I went on and I couldn't find I couldn't find a mistake with it. But it was different to what my spreadsheet had told me. And I'm sitting there going, and we're talking almost $9,000. And I'm like, this is not right. And finally found my spreadsheet was missing 2 full weeks of data. 2 full weeks of data. Because I hadn't gone one way, I'd only gone the other way. So I'd forgot that because I work on 28-week cycles, but BAS works on, I'm doing it monthly at this stage, so that works on monthly cycles, I was going on, cool, it's just working on the previous period, but it's not. It's working on the month, which was actually into the period before that, and I hadn't set that up. So all of a sudden there's a 9 grand loss, and I'm already panicking about money, and there's another 9 grand gone. And so there's that. So I'm running around like trying to work that out. I'm trying to eat my lunch and trying to watch this video, and then finally I work it out, understand where I'm at, think, okay, I've allocated extra money into both these other two accounts as a buffer, just in case. We're going to use that now. And I put it into my spreadsheet with the new results, and it says I'm still going to be fine. It's narrow, but it says I'm still going to be fine. So I trust it. No problems. Walk away. And jump back on, and I can't even remember. Don't get to the end of the video yet. It's not even a long video, but I don't get to the end of it. And something else comes up, something to do with work, I think it was, or an email, and okay, I'll go deal with that because I have to deal with that as well. So off we go, deal with that. And then by then it's, okay, I've got to go pick up the kids. Bring the kids home, and one morning, I'm just like, the neighbours are laying concrete down. They're in the middle of fixing it, finishing it off right now. Do not let the dogs out of the house at all, off the lead. No chance, because they will run across and destroy this thing. That's my only rule for you all afternoon. Let's, son, you go do your jobs. I'm going to talk to you afterwards about what happened this morning. We're going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to try and work this out. And then they go do that. I sort my stuff out. He comes home, goes to his room. I go to talk to him about it. This is where things start going downhill. I'm like, explain to him what he said was really bad, and this is why it's really bad. Please understand that you will be wrecking your future if you go down this path. We're talking, he was threatening to slap my mum, his mum, which is violence against women. And I'm trying to impress on him so much that is just a no, not even a threat. Don't even do anything like that. That is the one thing that I don't want you to do ever. Just do not do that. And this is how it will wreck your life. If you go down that path, this is how that will wreck your life, and explaining it to him. And then, he's been talking about slapping me and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, even if we go the other way, and it's, man, like, you just can't control these things. If you start violence, you can't control the outcomes, and it will also wreck your future. There is no doubt about it. This is a 9-year-old, so I've got to try and, he's starting to understand his place in the world, but he's starting to push his boundaries, but he's stumbling across really serious topics, especially for myself. I don't want him to even go down that. Like, it needs to be a non-violent response to everything. So I'm trying to make him understand this without going too heavy into it. And then we've got this whole thing of he just refuses, like, we say something and no, that's not happening, that's not the way it is, and just refuses to work with us. And we'll eventually get there, but I'm talking after probably half an hour of just vitriol from him, like just straight up stuff that's designed to make me and my wife feel terrible. And then you just have to walk away and leave, and then eventually comes around, he gets out of his rage and is fine again. And as if nothing's happened. And that's probably the worst part of it for me. Like, I get hit with so much stuff that really hurts. And I know I'm a grown man and he's a young kid, and I need to let this stuff roll off my back a lot better. And I do. I need to get, that's where the biggest problem, I guess, for me is I just need to, but he comes out and it's as if nothing has happened. It's just nothing. Like, not an apology, not a, I want to learn from this. How do I be better in the future? And it's just oh, cool. Can I do this? I'm having a great day. And I'm like, whiplash is just with someone with my mental issues. It just gets me, and it just gets me down. And as I've talked about before, it's my brain keeps going over, and it hurts. It's like I'm getting headaches from it, and I'm physically exhausted again. But then on top of this, the dog's walking around the house and it's leaving a lot more dirt on the ground than we thought. My wife comes home and then gets out of him that he did let the dogs off the loose, and the dog did go and run straight into the cement and wreck their cement, which then now the workers are staying back to try and fix up from where the dog ran into. Didn't tell us at all. Um, so now the fur is starting to have the cement go hard on it. So we've got to then quickly, instead of me doing dinner, I'm now trying to quickly get the dog washed and dried, get the cement out of everything off the floor and stuff like that, because I'm trying to do dinner. I'm not concentrating on this other thing, and it's just the whole thing. And the one thing I'd asked him to do, just the one thing, just please don't do this, and he went ahead and did it. And I look, it's then rolls into the whole. I've now got to. I don't know how to discipline him at this stage, so I just lose it, start yelling, upset. Things just don't go well. Nothing violent, nothing like that. It's just, I could be more disappointed, I guess. But after the talk we just had and the explanation that about things, I just wasn't happy. And said my piece. I'm over it. Like I don't know how to deal with this anymore. And from there, pretty much right till now, like it's all in a haze, and I'm dealing with stuff at work. Like we've got 2 staff members at work that are at each other's throats now, and that boiled over this morning. We've got one less person in the shed because of the concussion, so they stayed home today. So we're trying to work that out. We've got people with more parcels than they needed to, or they were ready for. So we're dealing with that. We're still trying to catch up. We've got my bosses then pressuring me about things that they want me to do, and I'm like, well, you're not even doing the stuff that I need you to do for peak. Like, we need to have this stuff sorted out before I answer your questions about everything else, and I've been on your back for this for months. I'm starting to lose it at people there, and then I've got a meeting with my accountant that morning to get my taxes done, so maybe we can get some financial relief from the bank to be able to get through the next couple months a little bit easier with an overdraft, just a little one, because the next couple months is the key. And the stress of getting there on time, and then the stress of wondering if I'm doing it all right. So this is the accountant going to tell me how much profit or loss we've made for the year, and that's been my 24 hours. And then I've got to sit with myself saying, well, I don't think I'm a good parent anymore because I don't think I handled that very well. I don't think I changed anything anyway. Like, I don't know. It's just not been a very good 24 hours. And I didn't want to create any content, and wasn't in the mood to. It's a struggle right now. And so end of the story is the company made a $55,000 profit last year on when you put in depreciation and stuff like that, which is sort of not a real thing because we've already paid for those things and they're depreciating. We're technically making a $41,000 loss on top of the $500,000 loss we've made since the business started 15 years ago. However, we'd sold enough vehicles in our downsizing last year to make another $250,000 capital which is profit. So all in all, we made a profit technically of $220,000 last year, which writes our debt. Sorry, not our debt, but our loss down to $310,000 overall. But the accountant's like, well, you made on paper. Realistically, you made $55,000 profit last year for a $1.6 million business. It's not a lot of money, but it's better than where we were. And so everything's good as far as that's concerned. So that's one weight off my shoulders, which really do feel sore right now. I need to really, I need to work out. I need to sort stuff out. I will jump on the rig soon and just have a have a race, not a race, but just do some laps. But yeah, just everything's getting to me at the moment, and I don't know how to deal with it. I don't know how to deal with being a father still, and I've been doing it for 14 years, and it's still no easier. And in fact, I think it's getting harder. I know my wife's not dealing with it very well, and when we're on our own, we're fine, we're good. It's just whenever you put both kids together, they've been playing Fortnite together a lot lately, which has really helped. They're really working together as a team, and they really seem to be, happier around each other and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, just they do go hard at each other, and when they do, it just escalates so quickly. And yeah, so this is, I'll be honest, this is the first time. So there's a few songs that I do listen to, and I resonate with the lyrics a lot. Ren, I've talked about Ren before, but his Chalk Out Lines is one of them. And waking up as someone new is definitely a line that I keep on going back to. In fact, I had that song on this morning on the way to work and got very emotional. But the biggest one is I went to see Cap Carter at Brisbane on Friday night. Drove down, drove back in the one night. 3-hour show, 2.5-hour show. Lockie Gills was the support act, I think it was. And he's a voice winner from back in 2020. I'd never heard of him. So he was good. He had a good story of him and his mate from school, the mate from school that got him into band. He didn't want to do it, got him in that band at the age of 15. And he had him as his support act on stage, doing the piano and the guitars with him and vocals as well. And gave him a song right at the end. And the guy's like, we've got to cut you short because you've gone over because of a few technical difficulties. But you got one more song left and that's it. He goes, okay, still, I'll give it to my mate Ray. He can do the song. I don't care. And he's like, no, it's your set. Your first time support acting for someone as you go around Australia with them. And no, you have it. So they had a good back and forth. And the crowd really got into it. The crowd really supported him. And he did his song and it was really good. And, it was a special moment. But then Cap came on and was a special act. He had his band up there with him and, talked in between each song, which is what I loved, giving stories behind the scenes stuff of how songs came to happen. Now, Cap Carter is very much on the side of mental health. He sings a lot about breakups from the male's perspective, which is something you don't really hear a lot of. So he goes really into the side of the feelings he gets when he does have breakups. And he's got some really good songs out of that. But the two songs that really resonate with me is Both is one of them, and it feeds back into the song that we just the topic we just went on. It's about him and his father when he was growing up, and his mum left his father, and he got left with his father, and he was really upset and resented his dad for a lot of that as he was growing up, which then led him down the path of I think in the quote in the song is guns, alcohol, gangs, and drugs, or alcohol and women, and just it sent him down a spiral path, and sort of never really understood why because his dad went downhill from there. Like his dad really went into himself, and he got stuck in that situation. But then the final line is the line of when she left you, when she left me, I never understood that she left you as well. And that understanding of what he was going through was what he came to at an older age. And that's sort of what I hope my son, when he gets to an age, understand some of the stuff that I've been going through over the last couple of years, and hopefully, like, I'm doing my best, and I just hope that one day he'll understand that. And I don't know. That's what I hope for. And that's a song of his that's really hard to find, to be honest. I don't think he's actually released it as a single, but it's up there on Spotify in a few different ways from live events that he's been to. but it's definitely one he didn't play at the concert, and it's a really good story anyway. That song on its own. But the other one is Guns, and it's about a mate who look I need to look more into the lore of it, but it's about suicide. So someone who I can't do it anymore, and the partner trying to talk them down, and the specific line of oh geez, my brain is not working today. It just hasn't been working because of everything that's been happening. But can't do this anymore, and the feeling he puts into those words in particular while he's saying it resonates with me obviously way too much. Because there's lots of times, especially over the last 24 hours, I just can't do this anymore. And it's then about the wife or the partner saying, change will come. Just hold on, stick to your guns, and everything will be fine. In just just gotta get through this part. So he done that as the encore. He did the whole, okay, that's it, one more, we're done, excellent, we're off. And everyone's like, what? No, you haven't played? No. And then we started chanting Guns, and he comes out and he plays that. That's his big song. So I was getting emotional singing that in the concert hall to that Wonderland at the Valley Loft, and singing that along at the top of my voice by myself in the middle of a crowd was, like I said, something that I've never done in the past. Never just gone, okay, I'm going to a concert on my own. But I've resonated with his music for so long that, or for over a year now, since I found him through TikTok, where my algorithm obviously was going, you're not in a good place right now. This person is singing about stuff about people who aren't in a good place right now. So here you go. And I enjoyed his music a lot. A very good storyteller. All his songs have got fairly emotional stories behind them, and he knows how to convey a story through song extremely well. So I resonate with him a lot. So that was fun. Went down, enjoyed that. Wasn't a very big crowd. Like, it was his biggest spot on paper. He kept on saying that he'd been in front of. So it's a couple hundred people there maybe, and so he's then going to the Triffid next year, which I've already bought tickets for on the sly. So he sent out a link to anyone who messaged him from the first show and said, here is an experience if you guys want to get in early for the Triffid the next October. So that's it. There's a VIP experience as well, which I did splash out for. So me and my wife have got tickets now. I'm doing the VIP. She's not. And I'm going to have to get to meet Cap Carter in person. So that's going to be really cool. And end of October next year, that's where we're heading. So trying to sort of get myself back, I guess, over these last, I'd say, decade or more. But particularly this last 13, 14 years since having children. It's been about them for a very long time. And trying to get myself back a little bit, I guess, and that's where the streaming, the content creating has come back, because that was one of the big things I stopped doing, and I'm hoping to get back into golf next year when we've got a little bit more spare cash, and I'm going to the cheapest course I can possibly find and becoming a member there and forcing myself to go there once a week, and that will be a major outlet for me. So doing that. On top of that, looking at going to things like maybe a test match again. I used to religiously go to the Gabba test match for at least one day a year, sometimes two, and catch a test from there, the first couple of days of a test from there. And then I'm wanting to try and get down to the PGA Championship at Royal Brisbane for a day, but we'll see how that goes. That's in November. It's a little bit too close, but we'll try for that. And definitely going to Ipswich next year for the V8s in August. So that's the plan. But then just trying to get out more and do a few more things and be a bit more social and active. And like I said, get myself back to a place where I'm happy with who I am, because I'm not at the moment, because I'm getting down too much. And whether it's because I don't have anything to focus on. That's why vets, I've probably latched onto that a lot, because that's my what always was my outlet for me, was having that 1 to 2 nights a week of tennis that I went to, or cricket training on 2 nights a week, and then the match. That always kept my brain focused on something else, rather than not the problems at hand, but the stress at hand. And vets has been that for me. I guess it's been my Thursday night sporting event that I would normally go to and socialise, but I'm still not, like, I'm not active. Like, I don't get in mic and chat to anyone. I don't get into the Discord with everyone. I'm not talking on the Discord. It's still me on my own. Just it's a place for me to go and something for me to think about, but I'm not using it as a social thing, which is the, I guess, the bit I'm probably missing from that, or where I should probably dive in a bit more and be bit more active in the community, and things like that. But it's currently an outlet for me, but I need a few more, like I used to have back when I was a young whippersnapper. And so look, things are, I didn't, if I didn't make this podcast today, I don't know whether I would have made much more content. There's very much I'm just over it. And look, eventually in a couple of weeks, I probably would have come back. But that's where in the past, the podcast has gone on hiatus for weeks or months or years. And because I tell myself, no, it's okay. I just have this week off. I'll do it next week. We'll be fine. And then I come back. No, I don't. I'll just skip it for one more week. It's not quite ready. I'm not quite ready. But just trying to be open and honest. And it's my journal. It's my therapy session, I guess, to talk through everything. And if you resonate with it, you do. If you don't, you don't. But at least it's out there, and better than it's being up here in my head and no one else hears it. I'm getting better at things like that. So I'm actually, before I would just stew on it for days and days and be real quiet and be upset and miserable. And now I'm actually messaging my wife and saying, look, this is how I feel right now and it's not good. I need to fix it. And obviously she's in the same boat where she doesn't feel very good around this situation. We need him diagnosed with what he's got, which is one form of something that we can then actively work on. This is the solutions to get around these tantrums that he gets in, I guess. And this is how we need you to focus on things going forward. But I don't know, it's hard. It's really hard because I don't have any practice at this. I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm just making it up as I go along, and usually that works pretty well, but sometimes it just doesn't. And yeah, I don't know. That's where I'm at. So look, I hope you, if you can, go listen to some Cap Carter, CAP, and then Carter as the last name. Really good music that I enjoy anyway. And if you don't, that's fine. But I hope you enjoyed. Hit me up in the comments with anything that you're going through at the moment, and if anything you want to add to it or anything like that. If you're a parent, just tell me how to be a better parent. That's all I need to know. Not stress about everything so much. And look, thank you everyone for listening. Thank you for everything you've done, and we'll be back next week, hopefully with a bit more upbeat episode, or we might talk about some of those other topics that I really do want to get onto eventually, especially the journeying and the journey of life and stuff like that. We'll get there eventually, everyone. But thank you all, and bye for now.